Hey, it's Vas here from Aussie Playground and welcome to another unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at the Hobbyking Berserker, which is a 1/8 scale 4-wheel drive brushless truggy. And I know what you're thinking, especially those of you who've been following the channel for some time. Hey, you know, Vas, you've already unboxed the Berserker, so what's going on? How come you get another one? Well, the reason why I got another one is because Hobbyking have actually updated this particular truck. They've done a couple of changes and I'm going to be running you through some of those changes. Not only that, but this is the actual kit version, which means it's kind of like a roller. You get everything bar the electrics. Now the truck's already pre-assembled. Now, we're going to have a quick look at this. I'm going to run you through some of the updates or upgrades that Hobbyking have done, and then I'll show you the electrics that I'm going to be putting into this truck. And then of course we'll go out and run it. Now for those of you who haven't seen the final review of the first version of the Berserker, that's because I haven't done it yet. The reason, well, one of the reasons why I haven't done it is because I knew that this was going to be coming out, and I figured I'd hold off, run this a couple of times, and then do a final review on both of those trucks. You know, well, basically the same truck, but this is just been updated a little bit, if that makes a bit of sense. Now, you're probably all expecting me to punch this one out of the way. But no, I haven't actually taken this out of the box as yet. I just had a bit of a peek and I figured, you know what, I'm going to do this one the old-fashioned way. So we'll take our time a little bit because this isn't a new product. Sticker sheet, of course, you are going to need to sticker up the body. This isn't a new product, and I think it's been less than a year since I actually unboxed the other one, so you're probably all going to be fairly familiar with it. And I don't want to go to too much detail, but I do just want to run you through all the changes that have happened. So in here, I've got a little antenna tube, user manual, and they've got an entire like exploded parts view on there. And there's part numbers for everything too, which is really cool. This box, if you got like the ready to run, this is where your radio would be. As you can see, mine does not have a radio. Instead, we have some extra parts in here. So we have, sway bar kit. Pinion gear, we have the additional diff, so I think this comes with a small diff pre-installed, like a small spur gear, and then they give you a larger spur gear for you to run your 6S, so you swap those around. You got servo horns, a couple of tools, a lot of hardware like some screws and some things to actually finish off the truck, so and obviously all the accessories there to install the sway bar kit. Now, if I can try and get this out of here, and you can see why a lot of the times I just like take the things out of the box and then just get it done, because fiddling around with this can be a bit boring for some viewers, I guess. But for those of you who like to, you know, see me doing an unboxing, well, there we go, it's unboxed. Where are the tires? They're in here. So this I think was on the bottom of the truck, and we have 1, 2, 12, 34. Okay, yes, I know, I forgot how to count. And is there anything in that box? No. Alrighty, so there we go, that's it. Now, the truck itself, when you actually get it, this body has a protective layer on it, so just so you know that, you know, if you're going to put stickers straight on this, they're going to peel off eventually, because the plastic protective film will eventually start to come off. So you want to take the body off, peel this plastic film off, at least 99, yeah, there's a plastic film on there, so you want to peel that off, and then sticker it up however you want. You can leave it as it is, just put the windows on, whatever, entirely up to you. Okay, so what have Hobbyking changed on this one? Because I guess that's what everybody's here to see. First thing they changed are these. These are, well, they look like the exact same tires that the old Berserker came with, but the rubber compound has been softened. So now they have a softer rubber compound, obviously, and they have a firmer foam, and they do feel really, really nice. Feel much better than the old ones. And I'm hoping that these actually offer a little bit better grip, because these fine pin tires usually do very well over at my BMX track. And any car that has a good tread pattern will actually do very, very nicely there. But unfortunately, there have been a few where it's just slip and slide everywhere, and it's really because the rubber compound is just way, way too soft. This feels a little bit nicer. The foams inside feel a little firmer, so I'm hoping that these actually work a little bit nicer. And if you just heard a ding there, that's my phone going off because I forgot to put it on silent, just like Hammy Storm does. And that wasn't on purpose either. And there it goes again. All right, so taking the body off, let's take this guy out of here. And here is the chassis without its electrics. So this is what it all looks like. Very, very pretty, brand new, very nice. Couple of things that I recommend everybody do, and I'm going to be doing this myself as well, is the screws that hold these knuckles in place, both the top one and the bottom ones. You want to take those off and make sure you soak that in Loctite, because I've lost a couple of screws in the past because of this. These are the only two that seem to back out. I really haven't had too many others sort of backing out, but I might do the motor mount ones, make sure they're okay. The chassis braces also, because they bolt into aluminium. And I'll just check a couple of the others, make sure they're nice and tight and nothing's going to really back out. So what have they changed? Well, diff oils was definitely a big issue with the first Berserker that I got, which is that guy back there. And the truck was really hard to drive initially. So I ended up changing, I think I went 100,000 weight, I think it was 100,000 weight or something like that, front and rear. And then I did 10,000 weight in the center. But when I did the video, for some reason, I thought I was putting another 100,000 in the center as well, which is incorrect. So I was only putting 10,000 in the center, which, to be honest, it worked perfectly fine. Now the diff oils, the viscosity of these diff oils are as follows: 100,000 front, 100,000 rear, and 300,000 in the center. This is how this should be set up. That's how they've updated these trucks at the moment. So that's another thing that they've changed. Another thing that they've changed as well is the shock oil. Now, I don't remember having too much of an issue with the shock oil on the first Berserker, but I must say these Trackstar shocks, they're Basher shocks, which are essentially just Trackstar shocks, I believe. These are very, very nice shocks. 4mm shock shafts, all aluminium body, the aluminium shock caps as well. These feel beautiful. They feel very, very nice. Certainly have no issue. I do wish they had, probably the only thing, if there's a wish list, that they had the little shock shaft boots, the little rubber boots on there. That's the only thing that I wish they'd come with. And the other thing that they updated was the mount on the back here of the wing. I don't know if you guys saw my running videos, but I broke this mount here that holds the wing in place twice when I was out running the truck. So that was a little bit of a shame. And that kind of, I was like, oh man, just these little things always seem to break, and then it's kind of annoying. You got to buy a whole part. I think it comes with like a whole wing mount and everything just to get that little piece, which was, a little bit of a shame. But hopefully they've rectified that. It certainly looks a lot thicker than the original ones, and I'm hoping that the plastic's a bit better quality as well, so hopefully we won't have that issue. And I think that's pretty much all they changed on this one. Now, the kit version, obviously, as you see, you get no electrics with it, so you are going to have to provide your own. This is ideal, obviously, for people that are probably already in the hobby. You may have had a car that you've upgraded, you may have some spare electrics lying around, you're going to throw it into here, or you may find a good deal somewhere, something's on sale, especially around this time of the year. There's sales going up everywhere, so you pick up something real nice and cheap, and you can have one of these on the, on the track with a fairly decent radio. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on the radio for probably about, I don't know, $500-600, depending on what you get. That's Australian, of course. Might be even less if you get it at everything on sale. You might even come in under $500. Possibly even a bit less than that if you've already got your own electrics. So nice little bonus there. Now, speaking of electrics, what am I going to be installing in this guy? I haven't quite decided on the radio. I do have a spare receiver for my FlySky radio, but the last time I used that over at the track, I had a little bit of interference, and that's the first time I've had it, and I'm not too sure if I should do it on this one. Maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe it was just a faulty receiver. We'll see how we go, but I'll decide on what radio I'm going to use soon. I'm actually going to be using this motor, which is a 3674 1400 kV motor. This is an XK motor. Now, I've had this motor for quite a number of months, probably well over a year, to be honest with you. I did use it once on my E6 HX, and it's had plenty of power, but I didn't like it too much in that truck. And I think this particular one, 3674 1400 kV, I'll give it a go on the Berserker, see how it goes. Hopefully it'll do the job okay. We'll see what happens. For an ESC, I'm going to be using the Trackstar 150 amp ESC. This one was hooked up with that motor on the E6, and I think I've only used it a handful of times, so it's pretty much brand new. I'm going to be throwing it in here. This is the same ESC that's provided with the ready-to-run Berserker anyway, so it makes sense to use that. And for a steering servo, I used to have the Sabertooth. I had that for a couple of years, I think, and then I just stopped using it, and it was kind of just sitting on the shelf collecting dust, looking nice. And I ended up ripping the electrics out of it and then sold it as a roller to a friend. At the time, I had taken out the stock servo that the Sabertooth had, and I had this servo in it, which is a Turnigy 625C digital coreless servo. It's a 20 kilogram servo, but it only works on 6 volts, and it's 0.13 seconds reaction time. The reason why I know this is because I've written it on a little note here that I've stuck to the servo. So I'm going to be using it in this one. It's not going to be a high voltage servo, only because I don't have one handy and because I'm being a little bit tight around this time of the year. Unfortunately, this is what I have, and that's what I'm going to be using. So that is pretty much it for this unboxing and for this kind of first look at the kit version of the Berserker. I guess you'd call it I don't know if you'd call it a V2, but at least it's an updated version. And can I put the body back on without losing the washers? That'll be great. So there we go. I'm going to be putting the wheels on this guy now. I'll install the electrics in my own time. You've seen me install the electrics plenty of times before. So I'm not going to do a pit stop video of that or anything like that. But I am going to tell you to stay tuned and look out for a running video of this one with the stock tires. And I'm hoping that we might even put this one up against the other one in a race wars and see how they fare against each other, especially since this motor is a bit different from the motor that came with the ready to run. If I don't like that motor, well, then it's probably not the ideal motor for this type of car. I'll find something else to throw in there, and we'll just keep experimenting until we get it right. But for now, I'm going to leave it here, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and as always, check out the video description for more information on the car, as well as links to my social media pages. I thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.